Number 10. The Pantanal. There's not much to state concerning the Pantanal, other than for the truth that it is the globe's solitary largest piece of tropical marsh. Provided its nature, it is additionally residence to some of the biggest swamped grasslands in the whole world. You can only imagine the abundant flora as well as animals that can be located residing at the heart of the Pantanal. The name itself is derived from the Portuguese word, pantano, which actually converts to meaning either a swamp or a wetland. Number 9. São Paulo. São Paulo is the most booming city of Brazil. The city is identified as the resources of the surrounding state of São Paulo. There are countless photo-worthy places around the city as well, which makes it worth it in the areas to see in Brazil. Another location that is straight out of a postcard is the Municipal Theatre, which is largely based on the structural layout of the Paris Opera House. This theater is understood to host musical and dancing performances by world-famous artists. Be certain to take a look at one of the shows, if you're going through. There are a great deal of activities that can take component in while in São Paulo. Chief among them would possibly be going to the Avenida Paulista, the major financial as well as social center of the city. The most effective of these dining establishments and modern facilities can be discovered in São Paulo's Avenida Paulista area. One of the most popular gallery of Brazil, referred to as MASP, is also located in this area. The temperatures below are relatively consistent, with the majority of months being warm. The climate is fairly pleasant all year round, with many days being tropical. However, we suggest going to March and June. Number 8. Belo Horizonte. Words Belo Horizonte essentially translates to a beautiful horizon in English. It ought to get on the top of your areas to visit in Brazil checklist. History suggests that Belo Horizonte is amongst the initial cities in Brazil that undertook the modern style of preparation. Plant around, there are a lot of parks all throughout the city that you can take a look at also, including the Bahia State Park in addition to the Serra do Rola Moca State Park. The city is a paradise for style fans as it is home to several of the very best jobs till day. Chief amongst the very best jobs of architecture is the Pampulha complex. The good-natured city is extremely major regarding saving its vegetation and also fauna, and also thus, you will certainly find multiple ecological education projects all throughout. Some of the most typical tasks that you can delight in while you're below is browse through the Belo Horizonte Zoo. The zoo, which comes under the security of the Ministry of Conservation Brazil, is created over a large 1.4 million square meters. Belo Horizonte has light weather all throughout the year. There are no extremes on this one. The city is positive all throughout the year, yet we recommend visiting throughout summer times as the greenery just appears the entire atmosphere. Number 7. Alter do João. Alter do João sticks out as one of the most essential management areas. Several even describe Alter do João as the Brazilian Caribbean, given its place, which is why it is an essential place to consist of in your checklist of places to go to in Brazil. Change do João, considered as the main tourist area in the state of Santar, is home to several of the most incredible looking freshwater coastlines. Known as the Island of Love, this small slice of heaven is located a few kilometers away from the Alter do João city center. Bustling at the heart of the city is a vivid arts community. Be it ritualistic outfits, pendants, or perhaps home decoration, there's something special that you are certain to locate among the Brazil locations to see. Visitors from throughout the globe come going to during the low tide months, which is in between August as well as December, especially due to just how calming the water force can get. The finest months to visit Alter do João are in between December as well as April. Number 6. Salvador. The name Salvador is an acronym of a longer version, Salvador de Bahia de Todos os Santos. This actually represents Holy Savior of the Bay of All Saints. Being the capital city of Bahia, the city is house to one of the oldest colonial negotiations in the world, allow alone Brazil places to visit. Salvador's Porto de Barra beach awaits you. Named as one of the best coastlines on the planet, the region is a celebration center for any person seeking adventure. The beaches are optimal for water sports consisting of swimming, cruising and a number of other underwater tasks. Outstanding examples of abundant Portuguese colonial design can be located in Salvador, a site that you cannot definitely miss. In fact, the entire Pelourinho area situated in the Upper Town region of Salvador is classified as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. You will certainly discover yourself delighting in the classy foods that the city needs to supply. The city is additionally understood for its art, in several kinds including music and also dancing, making it a fascinating option when it concerns locations to check out in Brazil. The weather, unlike several various other cities in Brazil, is fairly positive. The temperature levels right here are reasonably constant, with many months being hot. It is only in between April and June that it rainfalls. The most effective times to see Salvador would be between December as well as March, as holds true with many other Brazil areas to go to. Number 5. Brasilia. Brasilia, called Motivated by Brazil itself, acts as the primary seat of the federal government. Considering that it is home to the federal government, it is comprehended to be a federal capital of Brazil. This well-planned city is additionally residence to several of one of the most vital buildings in Brazil, including the banking sector and the embassy field. The city is loaded with parks and also beaches all over. Although contemporary by heart, they haven't commercialized all elements of the city, however have seen to it everything is maintained undamaged. The city is loaded with modern frameworks all over and also hence, was stated to be a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1987. The city's planning was thought about to be rather advanced as well as metropolitan. There are events taking place all throughout the year. There are a couple of months during the year, in which it does get light, however it is best to experience this city during its winter months. The ideal time to see Brasilia is in between December and also March. Number 4. Recife. Found in the northeast edge of South America, Recife was started in 1537, thus qualifying as one of the earliest cities on the planet. It is the resources city of Pernambuco and is mostly known for housing the biggest scale of manufacturing for sugar canes. The city is residence to lots of lovely rivers, coastlines and tiny islands. The name Recife itself can be accredited to the reality that the city's coastline is loaded with magnificent-looking stone reefs. Because of the nature of the city, the location is also fondly described as the Brazilian Venice. Amongst the areas to go to in Brazil, Recife must top your listing. Why? The spirit of Recife is constantly regarding being up as well as around, and the folks here enjoy various celebrations all throughout the year. You must surely take a look at the New Year parties beginning at the Praia de Boa Viagem coastline situated in Old Recife. Recife is composed of many regional markets including the Mercado de S. Ojos. The climate is quite pleasant all year round. We advise going to Recife between March as well as June to take pleasure in the exotic climate. Number 3. Fortaleza. Also, though the city is not too big in dimension, it is considered to be one of the most crucial commercial and also business facilities of the nation. Some of the well-known coastlines of the city consist of the Beca Futuro as well as the Iracema. Given that beaches are typically used here, the bulk of the vacationers likewise delight in water sports. Fortaleza contains Brazil's largest oceanariums called Aquário Queer. Found to be nestled away on the Praia de Iracema shoreline in Fortaleza, the oceanarium has been videotaped to have actually brought in over 12 million site visitors yearly. You can take a look at the beach park, an amusement park to satisfy all your adventure fantasies. There are many various other exciting experiences that you can enjoy, consisting of examining out the wonderful nightlife, and also the beachfront dining establishments are deserving of your time. One of Brazil's treasures that has a normal exotic environment. A few of the best times to visit this city are during summer seasons, which would be in between February and April. Number 2. Manaus. Funding City of Amazonas, Manaus is residence to Negro and also Solem. S rivers as well as is certified as the second oldest city in Brazil, as it was found in 1669. Owing to its size, Manaus was really taken into consideration to be afoot amongst the visitor locations in Brazil. Numerous fondly refer to Manaus as the city of the margins of the Black River. Manaus functions as the perfect location to avoid a while prior to you go exploring the amazing flora and also fauna. It'd be interesting to take a watercraft flight via the black waters of the Negro River. If you're around the region, you will surely be informed of the meeting of the waters factor wherein the black waters of Negro satisfy the brown waters of Solimões River. Manaus is known for the taking place nightlife it supplies to its visitors. Visualize partying hard at the beachfront with a few of the most fascinating vacationers from worldwide. That's simply the type of ambience that Manaus holds. Contrasted to most various other cities in Brazil, Manaus has a damp environment. The very best times to check out Manaus would certainly be between December and also March, since that's when most celebrations take area, as holds true with a lot of Brazil places to check out. Number 1. Rio de Janeiro. Nestled in between the hills as well as the sea, the very place of Rio de Janeiro makes it amazing a lot to make sure that it has been acclaimed as the Globe Heritage website for being the staggeringly lovely place for among the globe's largest cities by UNESCO. The awards of UNESCO weren't solely for the all-natural setup of the city, yet also for the prepared eco-friendly room, urban cultural landscape as well as the appropriate mix of design, all of which have actually added very well in the growth of the city. Rio de Janeiro is additionally the second major city of Brazil, has additionally functioned as the capital of Brazil from 1763 to 1960. Started by the homesteaders from Portugal in the mid-1500s, the city made use of to be the port for the delivery of gold from its inland extracting areas. Throughout the history, Rio always seemed very familiar with its physical possessions, long crescent coastlines, rising hills behind it and the looming sugar loaf above the harbor. All these are today the prime traveler attractions of the city, which have magnified the landscape with prominent structures from the different age of the history, in addition to the environment-friendly parks and spaces that include to the city's landscape. There are countless photo-worthy spots around the city as well, which makes it worth it in the locations to check out in Brazil. Being the capital city of Bahia, the city is home to one of the earliest colonial negotiations in the globe, Allow Alone Brazil puts to visit. The city is also understood for its art, in several kinds consisting of music as well as dance, making it an interesting option when it comes to locations to visit in Brazil. Funding City of Amazonas, Manaus is residence to Negro and Solem. S rivers as well as is certified as the second oldest city in Brazil, as it was uncovered in 1669. The distinctions of UNESCO weren't entirely for the all-natural setup of the city but also for the prepared environment-friendly space, city social landscape and also the ideal mix of architecture, all of which have actually contributed extremely well in the development of the city.